You bought a sweater, a good one. It was soft, it was warm, it made you look like a person who has their life together. Then, 3 weeks later, it looked like it had a skin condition. Tiny fuzz balls everywhere. The cuffs, the sides, that one spot under your arm. And your first thought is, did I do this? Am I dirty? Did I break my own sweater? No, you didn't. Pilling is not dirt, it is not damage, and it is definitely not your fault. It's physics. It's predictable, and it happens to almost everybody. That $10 t-shirt and that $200 sweater can both do it. Once you understand why it happens, you can prevent it. You can fix the sweaters you already own, and you can spot a pill machine on the rack before you ever buy it. So let me explain the most misunderstood betrayal in your closet. First, let's look at the crime scene. Zoom in. A pill, that little fuzzball, is exactly that, a tiny tangled ball of fibers sitting on the surface of your fabric. It is not lint that landed there from outside. It grew out of your sweater, which is somehow more upsetting. Here's the mechanism. Every fabric is made of fibers twisted into yarn, and that yarn always has loose ends, short little tips and stray strands poking up from the surface, even when it's brand new. You can't really see them, but they're there, thousands of them. Now you rub that surface against a desk, a couch, a seatbelt itself, and friction drags those loose ends out and tumbles them around each other, the same way a little bit of fluff rolls into a ball in your pocket. They tangle, they knot, they ball up. Congratulations, you grew a pill. It's not your sweater dying, it's your sweater shedding, in the most public, most annoying way possible. Okay, so every fabric has loose ends. So why does one sweater pill like crazy and another one looks brand new for years? 4 things. Write these down. They're the whole game. 1. Fiber length. Short fibers, what the industry calls short staple, have way more loose ends per inch, and short ends slip free easily. Long fibers, long staple, are anchored deep at both ends with fewer tips to work loose. So long staple cotton, or a long fiber wool, pills far less. That's most of it right there. 2. How the yarn is spun. A loosely spun, low-twist yarn is soft and fluffy, and it lets fibers slide right out. A tightly spun yarn locks them in. Soft and fuzzy feels amazing in the store. It is also, mechanically, a pill factory. Cruel. 3. How it's knit. A loose, open knit gives fibers room to migrate, lift, and rub. A tight, dense knit holds everything in place, which is why a chunky, airy sweater pills faster than a smooth, flat one. 4. Blends. When you mix fiber types, say cotton with polyester, they have different lengths, strengths, and stiffness, so they grind against each other and shed unevenly. And the cheapest, fuzziest blends manage to fail all 4 tests at once. Which brings us to the part that ruins everything. Here's the fact nobody tells you, and it is genuinely, completely backwards. A pill only stays stuck to your sweater if the fiber holding it is strong enough not to break. Think about it. The pill is dangling by a few thin fibers. If those fibers are weak, they snap, the pill drops off, and the fabric looks fine again. If those fibers are strong, they don't snap, so the pill just hangs there. Forever. Mocking you. And guess which fibers are the strongest? The synthetics. Polyester, nylon, acrylic. Durable, tough, basically unbreakable. So when they pill, the pill clings. It grabs lint and stray fibers from everything else you own, and the whole sweater looks fuzzy and tired fast. Meanwhile, the weaker natural fibers tend to just let their pills snap off and quietly disappear. So sit with this. A strong, durable fiber can make pilling look worse, not better. That cheap polyacrylic sweater that turned into a fuzz monster in a month? Its own strength betrayed it. The label said durable. The label was technically correct. That is the worst kind of correct. Which brings us to the character who has been waiting this entire video to defend itself. Everyone? Wool. Wool has some feelings about today's topic. Here's the honest part. Yes, wool pills, especially at first. Brand new wool has loose surface fibers that shed as little pills early on, and then very often it settles down and stops. That's normal. That's not a defective sweater. That's just wool finishing getting dressed. Wool wants me to be specific because not all wool is equal. Coarse, cheap wool in a loose knit pills a lot. But merino, which is fine and can be spun tight, and tightly knit worsteds pill much less. And cashmere? Cashmere is gloriously soft because its fibers are short and fine, which is exactly why it pills early. So that pricey cashmere fuzzing up isn't a scam, it's the softness you paid for. So when someone says wool pills, wool is bad, that's like saying cars are slow after driving one beat-up car. And, quick, before wool combusts, let's give it the win it's owed. Wool is naturally springy and odor-resistant, so a wool sweater bounces back into shape and doesn't smell after a wear or two, which means you wash it less, which means it pills less. I'm expensive, says wool. Yes, we know. The pilling just wounds its pride. Now, a detail that'll make you feel like a detective. Pills don't appear randomly. They show up exactly where there's friction. Look at any pilled sweater and it's the same map every single time. The underarms, where your arms rub the body. The cuffs, where your sleeves drag across desks and tables. The collar, where it catches on a coat. And one side, the side where your backpack strap, your seatbelt, or your crossbody bag rubs against you, all day, every day. So the next time someone blames their detergent, you can calmly point out that the pills formed in the exact shape of their daily commute. Fear the cheap blend. But also, maybe, fear your backpack. Okay, let's actually stop it. Prevention is mostly about reducing friction while the fabric is most vulnerable, which is when it's new. Wash inside out. That way, the friction hits the inside, not the face you actually look at. Use a gentle, cold, low agitation cycle. Agitation is just friction wearing a nicer name. Put your knits in a mesh laundry bag so they rub against soft mesh instead of your jeans zipper, which is basically a cheese grater for sweaters. And please, skip the tumble dryer. All that hot tumbling is friction and heat, the two things knits hate most. Lay the sweater flat to dry instead. Wash less, air more. Most sweaters just need airing out, not a full wash, and every single wash is a friction event. And rotate your bag to the other shoulder now and then. Give that one poor side a break. But the big one, the one that happens before you even own it, buy better. At the rack, check the label for long staple fibers and tightly spun, tightly knit construction. Then actually feel the surface. Smooth and dense? Good. Soft, loose, and already a little bit fuzzy right there in the store? That sweater is telling you exactly what it's going to do. Believe it the first time. But let's say it's too late. You already love a sweater and it's already pilling. Good news. Pills are completely removable. You've got 3 tools. A fabric shaver, the little battery razor that gently buzzes the pills right off. Honestly, it's the easiest and the best. A sweater comb, which pulls them up and away by hand. Or a pumice stone. Yes, the rough foot one. Dragged lightly across the fabric, it catches and lifts the pills. Lay the sweater flat on a table first. Pull the fabric smooth and work in one direction. And one rule, it is the whole rule. Shave, don't pull. Yanking a pill rips a long fiber straight out of the weave and just creates the next pill, sometimes a hole. So go gentle, let the tool do the cutting, glide it across the surface, and your sweater walks right back from the dead. So here's the whole thing, and it's weirdly freeing. Pilling was never a sign that you're careless or that your sweater is junk. It's just fiber mechanics, friction plus loose ends, plus, ironically, strong fibers holding the evidence in place. You can prevent most of it with how you buy and how you wash. And when it shows up anyway, you shave it off and move on with your life. Wool would like it formally noted that it warned you and that it's expensive. Noted, Wool. Next time, the bigger one. Why your clothes feel cheap the moment they arrive, and the one fabric secret the whole industry would quietly prefer you never learned. Same trick, bigger scale. See you there.